Well, I got the opportunity to start this off, so there's a couple things I never got, especially since I came to jail, was like wanted pictures. You know what I mean? They seem like they shouldn't even make sense. Why didn't they just keep them when they took the picture? Yeah. Oh, and Coca-Cola? You know they used to put real cocaine in Coca-Cola? You know, you can still do it, there's nothing stopping you, but could you imagine what 7-Eleven or Plaid Pantry would look like? You see the prom queen out there hustling, everybody's out of gas. The stud at high schools out there, tents everywhere. Hey, picture this, it's like 4 rats. They in this bar taking straight shots, so they go. The first rat takes his shot, busts his glass against the wall like I'm the baddest rat in here. You know rat traps? I lift weights with those. So the second rat grabs his drink, drinks it, breaks it on the wall, and say, I'm the baddest rat. You know decon? I snorts that. So the third rat picks his up, drinks it, say, I'm the baddest rat. You know poison pellets? I take those when I get headaches. So the fourth rat picks his up, downs it, sets it down, and is heading for the door. So the other rat's like, hey man, where you going? He said, I gotta get home, the cat's having my baby. Yeah, that's a bad rat. Like when Obama got elected president, you know, I kind of thought it would affect my life a little bit, but it didn't. So when Trump got elected, I was safe. I was like, it's not gonna affect me, but it did. So I got this friend named Nikki, so I was planning this field trip to go fishing. So I'm calling him all week. He's not answering his phone. I'm like, so after a week, I just said, let me go by here. So I drive over there. Sure enough, as soon as I hit his block, him and his whole family's outside having a nice time. So I jumps out, double parks, go, hey, Nick, why you ain't been answering your phone? He said, because Trump turned off all the Obama phones. Yeah, he's tough. Hey. Yeah, he's cold-blooded. He sent ICE to do it, too. Hey, when I was growing up, I always wanted to be like a superhero. And my son, I had him, I always wanted him to be so that's all I really bought him, like Batman. So when I was little, I really wanted to do it because I loved Iron Man, stuff like that. And some of the parts I could have played, like The Matrix, I could do that movie. Especially like, you know, when they asked Neil, you want to take the red pill or the blue pill? You know, I could have did that part. I'd have just took both of them. You know why? I'm addicted to pills. The end. Some of my best work. All right, we got an up-and-coming artist. She's real good. I want to pass this on, but I'll finish us off, so don't worry, I'll be back. You guys put a hand together for Kate.
Hello, how are you all? Good, that's important to me. So my day job, I work with kids, and I work with teenagers specifically, and I really like working with teenagers. They're at this really magical stage in life. They're finally starting to explore and learn more about the world around them and how things work, stuff like politics and religion and sex and that kind of thing. But they're still so young, They just lack the necessary life experience to understand how nuanced and complicated and related everything is. So they've gotten to this point where they think they finally have it all figured out, and they still have no idea whatsoever. And this was really, really beautifully evidenced in class one day. I was talking to my students, and I'm a Spanish teacher, and it came up with the fact that nobody ever assumes that I speak Spanish because of how I look and racism. Those reasons. And they asked me, they're like, has anybody ever talked about you in Spanish around you and assumed you didn't know what they were saying? And I was like, yeah, that's happened a handful of times. And they got really excited, like, what'd they say? What'd they say? And I wasn't going to quote verbatim, so I just said, you know, just some of the crude stuff that some men like to say about women. And at this point, this 14-year-old boy, who had not been paying attention at all before that moment, all of a sudden his little ears kind of like prick up. And he looks up, and he gets this grin of like recognition on his face. He's like, I know this one. And he says out loud, very confidently to the entire class, he goes, ah, talking about wieners, right? 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 Which was adorable. It was so cute. It was the cutest thing. Because like this kid understood enough about the situation to understand, like typically in that kind of situation, we're objectifying people, right? We're talking about people's bodies. We're focused on the reproductive organs. He knew that much. He just didn't know, like typically in the kind of situation, you're not really like talking about your own stuff. I'm just trying to imagine what this 14-year-old boy thinks grown men say about their wieners when they're talking about a woman. And like the only thing I can think of is like, maybe like two dudes are on a sidewalk, right? And like a woman walks by, you know, they both notice her, you know, they start elbowing each other. And at one point, one of them says to the other, he goes, huh, did your wiener move? So my wiener totally moved. Put it there. That's how guys talk, right? I see you. I see you. I heard these two pop songs on the radio recently, and they're entirely different songs, but I found the lyrics interesting in the same way. This first song is by this woman, and she's repeating over and over again throughout the entire song. She's just singing, she's going, I'm a cool girl, I'm a cool girl. And I was like, sure. Sure, it's a good song. But then I heard this other song by Rihanna, they got really famous, I'm sure some of you have heard it, and it's her repeating over and over again throughout the entire song. She's going, sex with me is so amazing. And I was like, I didn't know we could do that, right? Like I had no idea we could just write and sing songs just of what we want other people to think about us and make a ton of money off of it. And I've been thinking about it a lot, and I've developed some new career goals. And I've been working really hard, and I've written a bunch of songs, and I think I might actually be kind of good at it. I actually have a few songs I'd like to share with you tonight, if that's cool. All right, good. Good. I just need like 100% honest feedback, because I really think this could be a new path for me. Okay. So this first song I wrote goes like this. Look at me, I'm 6 feet tall. Look at me, I'm 6 feet tall. Look at me, I can see the top of the fridge. I totally know what's up there. Just a bunch of stuff that I can see. So it's just one song I wrote. I have this other song. This other song is kind of like a club, kind of dance beat. Some of you might enjoy this more. And it goes like this. I never ever eat food off the floor. Never ever eat food off the floor. I never ever eat food off the floor. Never ever eat food off the floor. Never. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Oh, I went in reverse order. Yeah, thank you. Like I said, I think I might be kind of good at this. I actually have another song. I know, I'm like a factory. And this song's actually really personal, so it's kind of hard for me to write it, and I hope you can appreciate it. And it goes like this. I totally don't still think about that time in 5th grade when my crush Ben Grady said I had a mustache. I totally don't think about that. That song's called Fuck You, Ben Grady. Thank you. Fuck you, Ben Grady. Thank you. Fuck you, Ben Grady. Fuck you. Is he here? I'll kill him. Ben Grady. Something else kind of personal about me is the fact that I'm a very, very sweaty and oily person. Right, yeah, and I spend a lot of time and energy trying to not look so sweaty and oily. But you know the media just tries to make you want what you don't have, right? If you have curly hair, you want straight hair. If you want skin tone, you don't have skin tone. Well, I found out that there was this look being marketed by cosmetics companies, and maybe some of you have seen this, maybe not. And it's called looking dewy. Has anybody seen this? This is a thing. If you're not familiar, looking dewy is essentially looking kind of sweaty and oily. Yeah, which is great for me. But it's got me thinking, though, because there's a lot of beauty standards that I think I understand, right? The implications it might have, you see them. For example, if a woman's wearing high heels, her legs will look elongated. You might be like, oh, maybe she's like a dancer or something. And she's like really flexible. Like in bed. Right? Or she's got the smoky eye look going on. You might be like, oh, maybe she's like exotic or something. And she's like extra sensual. Like in bed. But if she's looking dewy, someone's gotta be like, oh, maybe she like passed out on the lawn last night. In bed. You get that? That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I mentioned earlier that I work with kids, and I think a lot about the advice that we give to kids, and how most of the time it's way easier said than done, right? Like, so for example, if kids being made fun of, all we tell them is, you know what? You just say, I am rubber and you are glue. Whatever you say bounces off me and sticks to you. And in my experience, it's been a lot more like, I am Tupperware and you are tomato sauce. Whatever you say becomes a part of me. It ruins me forever. It's a hard cry when you got the hands on the knees. Anybody ever cry that hard? You ever cry that? You guys are wonderful. Get a win. Thank you so much.
Right on. We're gonna keep this going. Oh, Fred Armisen couldn't make it. So he can't wait to watch the video. Right? Yeah. All right, we got this next comedian coming up, Cruickshank.
Thank you. Hello, I'm Colby Cruickshank. My friends call me Cruickshank or Crankshaft or Crunkshank or Crooked Shank or some other not so subtle alternatives. I was gonna write a song tonight, but I couldn't get around to it, But I'll tell you the story about the song that I was gonna write. It was gonna be called My Paraplegic Squirrel. And this is a true story, I swear to God, it happened to me. So I was swimming down by the river and I decided to go to McDonald's. So I cut behind this bar to take the shortcut to McDonald's. And I see this squirrel on the ground and his back legs aren't working. He's dragging across the ground. I was like, what the hell is wrong with this squirrel, So I gotta do something for him. I can't just let him get, ran over or, eaten by something out here. So I go and find a box, and then I come up and the squirrel looks up at me, right? And the jig was up, dude. He knew I was trying to get him. So I got this box and he goes starting up this tree. I'm like, his back legs aren't working, so he's just on his front legs. So I'm at the bottom of this tree with a box looking like an insane man, like, no, squirrel, don't go any higher in the tree, and he's dangling. I get distracted for a minute and luckily the squirrel falls in the box and not on the ground. So I got him, So I feed him a little peanut butter, and then I realized, his eyes are kind of glazed. He's probably not doing too good, I'm probably just putting him through hell here. Maybe I should just take him to the vet. So I go to the vet looking for like a, humane, release or humane alternative to him getting, eaten by a cat or something, So I take the squirrel into the vet, and I have him in this box, and small box at this point. And I said, at first I was thinking maybe I can make him a little wheelchair or something, I can have a little paralyzed squirrel, for the rest of my life, or for the rest of his life or something, So I get to the vet, and I'm like, what can we do for him? And the vet's like, he's wild, we can't do nothing for him. I was like, all right, well, can you put him down? And she goes, or as soon as I try to hand her the box, the squirrel falls through the bottom of the box, And it's like a freaking Stephen King novel or something. The squirrel's like back half just dragging across the floor. Everybody in the reception area is just freaking out, So the vet goes over and picks up the squirrel and is like, No, I'm joking. That was a joke. So what happened was, what happened was the vet gave me this little bottle of bath salts and says, "Give the squirrel a bath salt bath, you know, and then it'll be fine." So I'm on my way to give the squirrel a bath salt bath. Big misunderstanding with the police and bath salts, and here I am in prison. But you know, honestly, I'm really glad that I ended up in prison. You know, and I mean, how many inmates can say that? Anyone? One? Okay, I'm the one, you know. But you know, it's partly because of the recreational activities that are available to me here. You know, and you know, it's all a matter of perception and how you perceive your environment. You know, and like for instance, I'm in total control in here. You know, like I want to be here. You know, like I'm up on the unit. You know, I decide I want to go out on the yard, and one of my butlers over here gets on the loudspeaker and says, "Hey, we found the keys to the back door. You can go outside." So I walk outside, you know, I walk around the little mini yard for a little while, and you know, when I decide I want to go in, they call a yard, and it's automatic. I don't even got to do nothing, you know? Complete control. I have a personal security guard that, you know, walks the unit hourly every night to make sure I'm all right. Yeah, that's for me and all my guests that live up there with me. Oh yeah, and not to mention, you know, have you noticed the fencing and all the razor wire around the whole facility here? That's to keep all the bad people and politicians out of here, you know? And on top of that, there's cameras everywhere, you know? So like if a bad person or politician gets in, you know, with intentions of bringing harm to me or raising my taxes, then they'll never get away with it. All right, that's it. I'm Colby, Cruickshank, thank you.
Next, you guys never gonna forget this. Straight up. Tomcat.
Thank you, Anthony. Let's give it up for Anthony, man. You know, so I'm stuck here in prison, right? And it sucks, you know. But one of the things that I really miss about being out there is animals. Yeah, you know, I had a pet cat, and I love, you know, hearing the dogs barking in the distance and that kind of thing. And so I was thinking, what would it be like if animals could talk, right? I guess I watched a little bit of the too many movies with talking animals or something. But I mean, like two dogs that live next to each other. Be like, hey, 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 ma, ma, ma. What, Bob? What, Bob? What, Bob? What you doing? What you doing? What you doing? Wake it up! Wake it up! Napping, huh? Napping! Napping, huh? Look. Are you going to the park, man? Going to the park! Go to the park! Hope to! Hope to! And so, you know, and then I was like, you know, I had this cat, he was a real character, you know, and like, what would it be like if he talked? Because he always talked to me, you know. I was like, hey, are you hungry? Milk! 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 Oh, okay, you know. So I got the brainy idea about, you know, giving him a mouse with catnip on it. Mouse! Mouse! Yeah. Makes me go crazy! And I peel out and go crazy all over the place. And so, and then I was thinking, okay, maybe I could go a little bit further with this, you know? What if animals, like, could do, like, you know, human type things, you know? Like, a frog, you know? He's eating an ice cream cone. Lick, lick, lick. Yum, yum. Lick, lick, chomp. Brain freeze, brain freeze, brain freeze. And then I was like, okay, yeah, that's good. Oh, there's a hippo. He's riding a roller coaster. Oh, it's gonna be fun. Barn, I broke another one. And then I was like, okay, what if they had jobs, right? There's a beaver, and he was working in a lumber yard. Guy comes in and, hey man, I'd like to buy, get some 2x4s. Beaver's like, oh, let me see what we got. He goes in the back, Oh, no, that one's got too much sap. And he picked up another one. Oh, no, tastes too much like wood. And he comes back, we're all out of 2x4s. Okay. And then I was thinking, okay, what if my GPS had the voice of a goat? Make a right turn in 100 feet. Oh man! Yeah. And then I was like, okay, what if a chicken walked into McDonald's, right? I have two. So, there's something about Animal Planet or in my free time, I go off on these tangents, and there's always animals in there. I don't know. But that's what I got for tonight. I hope people enjoyed it.
Don't even think about stealing none of that material. No way you can get away with it. All right, we're gonna keep this joint rolling. Stefan, welcome Stefan, guys.
Hello, how's everyone doing? There's so many stressors in this world, but what keeps me up at night? What draws my heart? Is it the economy? It's not nuclear war. It's not even prison. It's television advertisements. Yeah, that's right, television advertisements. It all started when I first started walking the TV room. I said to myself, what's the deal with advertisements? When I'm in the TV room, people turn the channel when there's an advertisement. Why have advertisements at all? The majority of the viewing public is ADD, then how can a company sell a product? How do the actors get paid? If nobody watches commercials, then the companies producing products can't pay the actors. Is this endemic of a conspiracy? Where's the money coming from? These are serious questions here. Really. I think maybe the government's paying money for television shows. I think they're paying the actors. But the problem is, if you look at our budget, there's nothing in our budget says, hey, we're giving $10 million, $100 million a year to the TV. So I'm thinking to myself, maybe it's part of a black budget. But if so, why? What nefarious purpose could be behind this? I think maybe it's a mass conditioning to crude, over-explained humor. It's dumbing down the public to the point of absolute malleability. That's what I think. Seriously. I'm serious. Why is everyone laughing? It's not funny. This is serious. Now, if you couple this with an underlying philosophy expounded daily in this medium we call television, justifying thievery, covetousness, in all their many expressions, I don't know. Or are the programs designed to sell the products only when viewed within a fraction of a second? What do the sinister forces of the military-industrial complex have to gain from our consumption of these products? Let's clear the veil of secrecy right here. The government and the entertainment industry and their many attachés have developed a probability matrix. And this probability matrix knows exactly when we're going to turn our channel. So if we turn to a channel about Pepsi, or birth control, or auto insurance, a synthesis is created, and it conveys a message to the subconscious mind. This is for real. I read this somewhere. It's for reals, man. What's this mean? What's this all mean? This means that if you buy Pepsi, if you buy birth control and auto insurance, you're reinforcing this subconscious message. and it must then follow that characters on TV who utilize such products would become themselves the embodiment of the products they're utilizing. Even if their inherent nature is completely antithetical to the embodiment of the product they're consuming. So this begs the question, why does the government want 400 million people to hold such attributes in high regard? I'm serious. Could it be perhaps to become the personification of a populace to destroy the Roman Empire? I mean, you know what happened to them, right? Not good. Oh my God. What is that camera staring in my face? Why are there boom mics falling from the ceiling? Where'd the audience come from? Stop laughing at me! Please stay tuned for these commercial announcements.
That was deep. Yeah, we're gonna lighten it up a little bit. Armon. Let's get Armon up here.
Thank you, man. Yeah, I think we can all agree we're not gonna get high with stuff on later, man. That was a lot of conspiracy stuff, way too quick. But so yeah, it's my first time down, and I guess prison's all right. I mean, if you enjoy taking shits in front of other dudes and compulsively gambling, yeah, like prison's the place for you. I mean, I did just win 3 soups off the Korean boating league, so I think things are kind of looking up right now. And you know, as long as the DC Mystics, you know, cover the spread next week, I should be good on that. But stand-up comedy in prison. It's like only in the city of Portland would stand-up comedy be part of our rehabilitation process. It's like the officials kind of sat down in an office and said, you know, all right, what's the most productive way we can reform a group of these guys? Well, I guess it would be to create more burnt-out hipsters out there. I think that's exactly what Portland needs. You know, God forbid we got our HVAC certification in the next couple weeks. You know, God forbid. So I'm Iranian American or Persian when we want to sound a little fancier, you know, because when you say Iranian, people just kind of they assume like nuclear program or hostages. But when you say you're Persian, they're just like yes, exotic rugs. Okay. Yeah, you took an L against the Spartans back in 300, but we'll forget about that in a little bit. Yeah, so my dad's Fob. He's fresh off the boat. 35 years this man's been in this country, and he just still holds on to a bunch of that old country kind of ways. You know, like he treats Safeway like it's a bazaar in Tehran. Like he won't drop any of that. Like he'll go in there and say, "Excuse me, ma'am. So I want to tell you right now. So honestly, we come here. No, listen, please. We come here 3 times a week for the last 2 months, and then for 1 time a week every month after before that. So I'm trying to understand. So today you give me 5% off. I come back, give you 10% tomorrow, and the week after I get a 20% off." And then they look at him like, "Excuse me, sir. Like, nah, that's not working." I'll punch you up that one, guys. Don't worry. Yeah, but September 11th was difficult for my dad. He works at PDX. He works right over there. And when September 11th happens, he was just paranoid that the feds were gonna come and take him away for questioning. He sat us down for dinner and said, "You know, Armon, I want you to understand that if anything happens, you are the man of the house. If they come and they take me away, you take care of your mother, your sister, you take care of everyone." I mean, he was acting so suspect. I was like, what did you have to do with this, man? I mean, for an innocent guy, you're kind of, you're towing a hard line here, you know? Yeah, he's really trying to get me an arranged marriage. On paper, it seems perfectly like a great idea. I mean, the woman he found, she's smart, you know, well-educated computer engineer, makes good money, has a, you know, rich family. Sounds like good, but just the one drawback, she is my first cousin, so I'm teetering it, but at this point in my life, it's like I'm honestly considering it. Like it's like, you know, kind of set. You know, I'm a fella now, set. You know, autistic children, so I got to figure that one out. But that's all I got right now, guys. Thank you.
That was cool. That's the closest I ever been to one of those guys, too. Let's get Mark up here. Let's get Mark.
How y'all doing tonight? Having fun? I'm Mark. Average American family, poor, alcoholism, bipolar, all that good stuff. Anyway, but we did manage to do some things, me and my dad. Some confusing stuff. My dad said to me, we were out fishing one day with his friend, and we're out there on the bank, and I'm like 5 or 6, and he's looking at his friend. He goes, that guy would give you the shirt off his back, and I'm 5 or 6. I'm taking it literally. I'm like, that shirt has fish guts all over it, and blood and sweat. I'm like, I'm a little poor, Dad, and he seemed to drink all the money. Could we just get some money out of his wallet? Maybe I get some new shoes or something? Coming here tonight, somebody, I'm walking in there, somebody goes, knock him dead. I'm like, no, I'm not knocking anybody dead. I got a date. The last thing I want to hear when I'm leaving is, you really killed him tonight. No, they were breathing when I left. Put that shit on me. I'm getting out of this money. I don't know about you, Cruickshank. You like this place? You glad to be here? You got problems. That's a problem. But I have plenty of time to think about great stuff. Like, how'd they come up with like better than poking the eye with a sharp stick? I mean, that guy had to be bored, right? He had a bad day, like his girlfriend left him or something, or he goes to the park where there's a lot of sticks. There's have to be a lot of sticks. He's sitting there looking at the ground. He's thinking, man, it's a tough day. But I can't help but think if it's better than poking the eye with a sharp stick. I mean, it's a weird thing. I mean, you must think like me or something. Picks it up. I hope he figured it out on the first eye, because he might be blind now. Thanks for doing that. Now everybody goes, better than poking the eye with a sharp stick. Did you try? I want to try and find out. And things like, that guy really gets my goat. How'd that come? I'm thinking of village, like people walking around with their goats on leashes. Tomcat would be there because he likes animals. Bob's walking down the street with his goat, and he's like, that Tomcat's not going to get my goat today. Tomcat comes up. How you doing, Bob? Not fine, Tomcat. Gets him in the headlock, gives him a noogie back. You got my goat again. The confusing stuff they used to tell you when you were kids, like, an apple a day keeps the doctor away. There are a bunch of doctors out there in bushes watching me make sure I have an apple. Like, look, we're poor, man. I don't even have any food, let alone an apple now. Walk outside to kick you around a little bit. That'll learn you. Get an apple. Fast forward 20 years, prison. We get plenty of freaking apples. Where are the doctors? At least we got plenty of salt for the apples, right? And plenty of salt when they tell us to gargle salt water for every ailment we have: cold, bipolar disorder, PTSD. Yeah, we got it covered. I didn't even know there were so many different apples. Gala, 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 I don't know. I'm an apple connoisseur. You can't have your cake and eat it too. I'm stubborn too. If people tell me that, I gain 100 pounds on that one. Go home at night and bake a whole cake. I call random people on the phone. Had my cake and ate it too. 100 pounds later. That's just a figure of speech. Why didn't you tell me that in the first place? Yeah, they ate 5,000 cakes. I watch a lot of TV, and the History Channel. They had the Civil War, and then they hit World War I, World War II, all that stuff, and now they get a little down to ancient alien stuff every time I turn it on. Stonehenge, built by man or ancient aliens, as a roadmap to, cook a better pizza or something. I don't know, that's theory. It's supposed to be the History Channel. The Great Pyramid, man-made, or, and it just gets old after a while. They're running out of stuff too. The other day I'm watching, they zoom in on this, I don't know if you know the AMC Gremlin. It was built from about 75 to about 80. A box-looking car with a little alien gremlin on it. And I'm looking at it, and I'm like, Gremlins, AMC, man-made or extraterrestrial life? It's a bad example on how to build cars. I'm looking at it, I'm like, I think I stayed in that car a couple times before I came to prison. And look, there's a homeless guy in there. You see any ancient aliens? Do they have any beer? I'm out of here. You know, I like to see honesty in advertising. You ever seen those going out of business sales? The guys just jump up, they're so happy. They say, we're going out of business, we're closing our doors forever. Come on in, the prices are crazy. 10% on, 90% discount. And you're like, yeah, can you just be honest? Because I wouldn't be that happy. I'd be like, look, you guys, you didn't come in and buy my crap. I'm gonna close my doors. My wife left me, my kids are gone. Don't worry about ours, I'll be sleeping there. Just give me a buy my crap now so I can get a donut or something. Guy's out there, he's got a sign with a bird, he's just turning around here, flipping near the bird. Anyway, I gotta go find my grandma, I'm out.
That was good. Okay, we got one of the guests coming up, which is Shane. Give a good round of applause, guys.
Appreciate it, man. Keep it going for Anthony, man. Killing this shit right now. How y'all doing? Everybody good? Y'all came out and put cookies on the table and shit, making me feel good. Feel very welcome. I thought I was just gonna come out here and do some jokes. I done ate a whole damn plate of cookies over here. I feel bad too, because I was like, damn, some of the homies had to be good for a while to get these cookies. I just walked in this motherfucker like, yeah, I'm taking 3 Oreos. Wash your cookies. I'm taking that has a whole different meaning there. I should have said that. This is cool, man. I'm glad you guys got. I don't know what the fuck this is, bro. I mean, we walked in and it was an NFL thing, right? And I was like, all right, I get that's close to comedy, right? And then they were like, nah, you know what? We need Tinkerbell on this bitch. We need Tinkerbell for some of the dark material. Like if the jokes are too dark, you just look at that shit and feel a little bit better. And if it's too lighthearted, if you hear any more animal sounds, you just look at this right here. Look at this shit. I'm not making fun of it. That's dope. This is cool. I like it. There was nothing to drink on the table. I ate 12 cookies and I'm hurting right now. A little bit about me. I used to be a punk ass bitch. Used to be, goddamn it, used to be. That's what they called me. I didn't answer to that shit. Used to be, man. But check it out. This is why though, because back in the day, in high school, I was in all the honors classes, right? I was the editor of my school newspaper, and I started a magic club for all the black kids called African Americans. Didn't nobody join my club, man. It was me in there. Is this your card? Yeah, nigga, that's your card. You know, you the only one in there. Trying to fool myself. Oh shit, that was the card. Man. This brought back some memories. You know, when the folks told me to ask me to come do stand up here for y'all, I was like, dig, that's what's up. That's cool. You know, I got family down in Savannah, Georgia, and in Atlanta that are locked up, and they sent me the email with the poster. Somebody made a dope poster with a flyer and all the stuff. That's you? Shout out to you, man, for making that. What's your name? Justin. Shout out to Justin who made that dope poster, man. Yeah, it was dope, right? And this is different for me. I don't get to do, comedy lets me do, I get to do stand up everywhere. And, I never got a chance to do it in a correctional facility. And I got the email with the PDF of the poster, right? And I was like, I was talking to my brother. He's like, don't post that shit on Facebook. I was like, why? Why not, man? It's just a show. I'm doing it at the correctional facility. What's the big deal? He's like, how many cousins we got that are locked up that you haven't visited at all? How would they perceive this? And I was like, first of all, how do you know the homies got Facebook? And then I realized, yeah, I'm Facebook friends with all my cousins that are in jail right now. I don't know if y'all got that going on here, but my cousin is very active in the Valdosta State Penitentiary. He gets the weird like flashback updates too. It's like last year you were doing the same shit. That's all. So I didn't post it, man. Well, I'm just happy to be here, man. Man, I'm trying to quit smoking. I'm trying to quit smoking cigarettes. I've been smoking for 15 years. I got a little daughter. I'm trying to give that shit up. And I just wish that there was an anti-smoking commercial out there for guys like me that have given the fuck up. You know what I'm talking about? They're like in their mid-30s, right? They can only make love to a woman for a few minutes at a time because he doesn't have the lung capacity to please her long enough for her to climax, leaving her unsatisfied and wanting more out of the relationship, but then she'll never say anything to you about it because you're just gonna get defensive like you always do, Shane. So instead, she ends up banging out some 20-year-old non-smoking part-time Uber driver with two big healthy lungs to fuel what he calls his high-powered fuck machine, or you gotta fuck telling jokes to a room full of strangers looking for the validation you never got from your father as a boy, leaving you unsatisfied and wanting more out of your relationship. But at that moment you realize you become just like your father. That makes you sad. Real sad. But not as sad as knowing that as soon as you finish this joke and step out this room, you gotta deal with the reality that she ain't never coming back. You got no one else to blame but yourself and those goddamn cigarettes. That's not about me. My marriage is happy as fuck. My wife is good to go. I got a 7-year-old, man. 7-year-old, very curious. She already hit me with the daddy, where do babies come from question. And I panicked, yeah. I was not ready for that shit. I panicked, you know. I didn't want to lie to her, but I didn't want to sugarcoat it. I was like, sweetie, when mommies and daddies love each other, they call up the stork. Okay, when they go to bed at night, that stork will fly to their house, walk into their bedroom, and poke holes in daddy's condoms. I feel like I handled that well. You know what I'm saying? It was a lot better than the conversation my father had with me when I was coming of age. He goes, son, any dumb boy can make a baby. But it takes a real man to pull out. Good luck, nigga. It just sent me on out the street. Shout out to my old man. How much time I got left? I'm good? I'll tell you one more and I'll get out of here. I'm surprised my wife said yes when I asked her to marry me so many years ago, because when we met, I was a young, broke, struggling comedian and a single father, you know, so it was a tough sell for me. You know what I'm saying? I had some baggage. I felt like a real estate agent trying to push like a shitty foreclosed home on someone. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, look, I know this ain't what you were looking for. But I'm gonna get you a great deal on it, all right? All right, this property here was built in '83, only had one previous owner, she was a bitch. Yeah, if you come this way, this is the kitchen area, right? Oftentimes referred to as the heart of any real home. As you can see, it's been completely ripped out, right? Right, just kind of left as is, more room for you to fuck around in, make it your own. That's nice. That's nice. It's weird what happened is, see, the last owner moved in and went to town on trying to change everything, right? Tried to turn the house into something that it's not, and in the middle of the night just up and moved to a bigger house that understands her. With more of a modern Puerto Rican kind of vibe to it, so that's cool. That's good for her. That's good for her. She left a few things behind, a couple tables, a couple chairs. There's a baby in the corner. But I think, relax guys, it's like they always say, one woman's trash. It's your new family, that's right, you got it, you got it. Real estate agents here. My name is Shane, you guys have been dope. Thank you very much, I
Hey,
appreciate it.
next we got this skit, but I wanted to say something real quick. Like, everybody got one of those uncles that never leave home. You know, they always there. And my grandmother had this big house, so we couldn't really zero in on him. But when she downsized to where she stayed now, you could see what he do day in and day out. So he got so lazy, he would panhandle right in front of my grandmother's house because a lot of people bring her oranges or sack of potatoes, and then he run the scam on them every time. Oh, how you doing today, Exie? Oh shit, $7 show. Yeah. Be like, yeah, man, when I come back, I'll see if I can slide you something, right? He got so bad, my grandmother installed motion lights on the inside of her house to keep up with this guy. Terrible. Hey, we got this skit. You guys gonna love this. Can I get Ben, Ivan, and Larry?
Yeah, so anyway, so I got 15 years for impersonating a superhero.
Hey, excuse me, bro, excuse me. I couldn't help but overhear you talking about your case, bro. And they can't do that, bro. Article 54, Section 13, State versus Randy Railroading.
What do you mean they can't do that to me? Who are you? What do
Hey,
you know
listen,
anyway?
man, my name is Freddie Felon. They call me Felonious, right? I've been doing this a long time. I know a thing or two about a thing or two. And they can't do that to you, bro.
Oh, yeah? Well, tell me about it.
I even want to... Well, first things first. I want a case for a guy, but first things first. I work for those delicious cakes they serve up in the chow hall and them nutty bars. I'll be eating 5 of them a week.
Wait, what?
Whoa, 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 whoa.
I was just asking you to tell me about the case.
Whoa, 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 no need to get hasty, bro. You drive a hard bargain, but it's cool. First thing I'll do is I'll file a grievance on your behalf, and you can give me a shot of coffee as a retainer.
What the hell are you talking about?
Yes, exactly. This is crazy. They can't do that to you, bro. You can dress up like Wonder Woman if you want to. That's what this country's all about. First thing we'll do is I'll file post-convictions, habeas corpuses, federal writs. I'll file all that. First we'll get the DA feeling good and build him up, and then we'll hit him with so many motions he won't know what hit him. They can't do that, bro.
Okay, wait. Just wait a second. I just want to know about the case you claim to have won.
Oh, well, why didn't you just say so, man? There was a guy doing life without for 20 DUIs, right? I filed on his behalf, represented him, I fought for him hard, and I won something for him.
Wow, so he's no longer serving a life sentence?
Oh no, he's still serving life. But the warden offered us a deal if we drop the case, so we dropped the case.
What kind of deal?
Check this out. I got him 2 servings of soft ice cream every Sunday, and he gets to go to yard first for his whole life sentence. Isn't it brilliant?
No, I can't believe that's the worst deal I've ever heard of.
Yeah.
The guy's still gonna die in prison.
Yeah, but he gets soft ice cream every week, and it's soft, so it kind of softens the life sentence a little bit.
You're a fucking idiot.
Hey, oh yeah? I'm filing a case right now for a guy where he can be his own sovereign state, right? That means once I win, the DOC is going to have to decree that he gets to release because he'll be self-governing. And it'll be like trespassing or something. It's fucking brilliant.
Yeah, real brilliant, all right.
Excuse me a second. Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate that, man. Hey, I'll take care of it, man. I'll talk to you later. Just keep going to the store.
Hands up! Ramirez! You know this is contraband! We need you to put your hands behind your back. We're going to the hole.
Hey, bro, don't say nothing. They can't do that. They can't do that. Don't say nothing.
Hey, that was good. Good job, y'all. All right, put your hands together for Snook. Where my boy Snook at?
Hey, how's it going, you guys? How's that song, huh? Like you're stuck in an elevator in Hawaii. Should have took the stairs. How many of you guys got kids out here, man? I got a couple. I got 3. My first one, yeah, I used to love watching him. You know, as I got older, I used to take him to the park all the time, and I'm not gonna lie, I like to get stoned, so it helps me focus more when I'm watching my kid. You know what I mean? And I'd push him on the swings, and I'd go sit on the bench, and I'd watch him go up and down, up and down. He'd be like, "Look how high I am." I'd be like, "Me too." And like, I don't know about you, but when I'm pretty stoned, I don't like to fucking talk to nobody. You know what I mean? And like, you got those parents off to the side that are like, "Oh my God, cute kid." I'm like, "Huh?" And they don't even know which one you're talking about. And they're like, "Oh, I love it when fathers take their kids out to go to the park and stuff like that." I'm like, "Oh, okay, yeah, cool, thanks." And I'm like, trying not to make conversation with them. And so they were talking about their kid. They were like, "Oh yeah, my kid's in gymnastics and this and that." I'm like, "Oh yeah, that's cool, that's good," you know. And they go, "Well, which one is your kid?" And I look over at him, I'm like, "I haven't decided yet." I used to go to these family gatherings every week with my ex-wife and my daughter, and you know, I got her a Power Wheel, and she used to go drive it around, and her cousin always tried to race her around the little yard they had. It's not little, it's about an acre, you know what I mean? And they're racing around in circles, and he's always beating her, right? So when we went home, I was like, you know what? I'm that type of parent that tricks out. You know, I G'd up her Power Wheel. So you know, if you don't know how to soup up a Power Wheel, all you do is you get a bigger battery. So I hopped over the neighbor's fence and stole their battery out of the rascal, and I put it inside the little Power Wheel. You know, I put a little sound system in it, some subs. You know those subs back in the day they called bazookas, where you could hide anywhere, and they're long, skinny ones. Put that on there, and I put a little stereo in it and everything. And I never tested it out. You know, I just listened to the radio, and I was like, cool, perfect. You know what I mean? So when the next family gathering came back, you know, I was like, go ahead, baby, test it out. You know. So she gets in there, I turn on the radio for her, and it goes, boom, ba boom, ba boom, Snook! I was like, yeah, that's my girl, And I never tested it out, so like she pressed the power, like she pressed to go forward, and all of a sudden, plastic's flying everywhere, she's peeling out, dirt's flying in the yard. I'm like, ooh, my wife's yelling at me. She's like, what'd you do to her Power Wheel? I'm like, she looks so happy. And like right when I said that, she crashes into her cousin's little Power Wheel. I'm like, ooh, snap. And this is how I know this is my daughter, and this is why I love her so much. And I've never done this before in front of her, but she took her jacket, wiped everything down, took her bottle, chucked it, and then started dipping. And my wife's like, what's she doing? I was like, oh, she's good. And then I saw her run back, and I'm like, no. And she goes back to the car, and she grabs her cookies and starts dipping out again. And I'm like, that's my girl. She's like, my wife's like, what's she doing? I'm like, well, it looks like she's, she's hiding under the trailer, it looks like. Should have messed with her, hit her with the mag lighter. You know what I'm saying? Traumatize her. Put your hands up. And then, you know, me and my wife traded roles after a while. She wanted to stay at home, and she wanted me to stay at home, and she wanted me to go to work, or her to go to work. And I was like, I'm cool with that. I can watch some kids. That's easy, you know what I mean? They're still young. After a while, I just turn on some cartoons. That's what I do. I veg out and watch cartoons. So my wife's like, you need to make sure they eat healthy. I'm like, yeah, perfect, no problem. She's like, I want you to go to the store to get some healthy snacks. I was like, nah, no problem, cool. So I go to Costco, and I'm going through the aisles, and I see, fortune cookies. I'm like, perfect, you know what I mean? Healthy snack, individually wrapped. They give you a fortune, why not? You know, so I grabbed those off the shelf. And I go ahead and take my daughter and put her in the car, and we go pick up my wife. And I didn't even think about it. I gave a handful of fortune cookies to my son, and a handful of fortune cookies to my daughter. And I had a couple right here too. You know, I pick up my wife. She's like, "Oh, good, you got them fortune cookies." And I'm like, "Yeah, it's healthy. They're crackers, right?" And she's like, "Did you at least take the fortunes out?" I'm like, "Of course I did." So I look back and I go to snack the fortunes because I didn't do that. And like my son has a fortune sticking out of his mouth. And I'm like, ooh, give me that. And I look over at my daughter, and there's no crackers or no fortunes at all. And I'm like, where's your crackers at? She goes, you know, I don't know. So I'm like, oh, all right. And I was like, look, babe, they're all right here. And I put them in the center with my pile of fortunes. And she's like, okay, good. So a couple of hours go by, and we're at the house, and she goes, babe, get over here. I'm like, what? She's like, get over here. I'm like, damn, I left the toilet seat up again, didn't I? So I go over there, and she's like, read this. And I can't see from afar, so I'm walking up, and as I get closer, I'm looking at it, and she's holding a diaper, and she goes, read this. And I look, and there's a fortune in it. It says, you'll be receiving a gift someday. And I'm like, ooh. All right, that's all I got, you guys. Have a good
one. I just wanted to give you guys this little thing I wrote. It says, comedy is an expression of art with humor. Look at the Marx Brothers, Abbott and Costello, the Three Stooges. The way comedians was used during our trials of difficulty out of love. Many comedians use their talent to stop political tyranny, to better and equality and their wealth. Today, we value this sacrifice through remembrance as we too are living in difficult times. Comedy will always be an art and a class because it is a humorous art with reality as its backbone. So just wanted to put that out there. All right, keep it going. Ivan. Look at him, Ivan.
How's everybody doing? Good? Cool? All right. So my name's Ivan Jaramillo. In Spanish, it's Ivan Jaramillo. And if you looked at the program, you'd see that you'd read it as Ivan Jaramillo or Jerry Milo. Who the fuck knows? It's been said many different names. But so yeah, I've heard it all. Names such as Caramello or Jambalaya, Jalapeno, Geronimo. Ramirez, that's a new one. And yeah, I've also been called Caramello, like the candy bar. And so I'd hear all the time when I was growing up, sorry about that. When I was growing up, people singing that stupid song, like, stretch it out, Caramello. And I'd be like, motherfucker, I got something for you to stretch out, all right, motherfucker. No, but speaking of names, how about nicknames? So I grew up in Mexican gangs, and so we just keep it simple with naming each other, you know. So if you're not one of the 7 dwarfs from Snow White, like Dopey, Sneezy, Grumpy, Bashful, then we just put an R-E-R at the end of the name. So you're like. Oh, Medline, guys. You guys want, go get your Dean biscuits. And so, yeah, if we just keep it simple, like I said. So we just throw an ER if you're not one of the 7 dwarfs. So like you got Stomper, Stoner, Tweaker, what else? Snapper, Gambler. And so like, there was this one dude that I knew, his name was Timer. He called himself Timer. I was like, Timer? I'm like, why do you call yourself Timer? And he's like, oh, it's because I was in a debate club. It's called Toastmasters. Only, and I'm like, okay. Right, Timer? And so, I'm like, all right, Timer, cool. And so, Pops, he was like pretty hard on me about gangs. He went pretty hard on me about gang banging and stuff. And so like when I first got my first tattoo, there's this tattoo. It's 3 dots and it means my crazy life, or mi vida loca in Spanish. And so everybody gets it out in the open. And so like I was so scared of my dad, I hid it. And so I got it in between my middle fingers, so he wouldn't see it. And so like when he first found out about it, like, oh, just wait till you get home. I'm gonna cut it off. You better get it off somehow. And I was like, I can't get it off. I don't know how you want me to get it off. He's like, all right, just wait. And so he's like, he's just frustrated, like, mi vida loca, or my crazy life. And you know, he's like, just talking crap to me, and like he's like, why didn't you get 3 books instead for my studious life? I was like, no shit. But yeah, growing up, I have a big. I grew up, I got a big Mexican family, and so I got like 10 brothers and like 15 sisters, and so. So like clothes, like when I got new clothes, it was hand-me-downs, it was hand-me-downs from all my brothers, and so by the time I got them, it looked something like this. By the time I got them, they didn't fit me no more, so I had high waters, and the clothes didn't fit me no more, so I got made fun of all the time, and like when I did get new clothes, it was like cheap imitations. So like Adidas, the shell toes that I really, really wanted, I got this cheap imitation pair called Nucleus, and they had it was some Adidas with 4 stripes though. And like Nike shirts, instead of Nike shirts, I got shirts that were called Bikey. And like pants, if I wanted Levi's, I'd get like Lee or Bugle Boy or some shit. I don't know, but it really sucked. And like cereals, like I really, really, really wanted like the good cereals. So like being at the store, I'd be like, I'd grab a box of Honey Nut Cheerios, or and Pops would be like, ¿Qué estás haciendo? No! He's like, what is this? And he'd pull the Honey Nut Cheerios out and take them out, and he'd grab a box of Cheerios and put that in there. Like I'd grab some Frosted Flakes, and he's like, ¿Qué estás haciendo? And he'd like throw those out. He's like, cornflakes, and he'd grab cornflakes, regular cornflakes. So then we'd be at home, and I'd be like, damn, I gotta eat a bowl of Cheerios. And so then he like comes up and he grabs he comes up with his little honey bear bottle, and he's like, mira, he spreads it out. He's like, mira, honey Cheerios. I'm like. And so like the next day I have some frosted. I really wanted some Frosted Flakes, and so he brings some powdered sugar and he throws that on. He's like, "Mira, Frosted Flakes." I'm like, this is fucked up. But then like one morning I get up and I smell something good cooking. I'm like, oh hell yeah, I'm gonna have some good breakfast. And so I make my way to the kitchen and I find out he's making some French toast. And I was like, French toast. And so I sit down and I was like, hell yeah, I'm getting ready for this. And he gives me a bowl of diced French toast, and he's like, mira, cinnamon French toast. I was like, oh, hell no. So that was pretty fucked up. But speaking of, so as you can see, I'm in prison. And I gotta live with 62 guys in my unit. So it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard living with 62 guys, and especially, what's up with guys always wanting to tell me secrets, and they got stank ass breath. Like they always want to tell me a secret, even though they got some smelly ass breath. And so, yeah, it's like, watch out, back up, you're barbecuing me, bro. Like, but also, I'll be like in the bathroom and like, I'll be using the bathroom, handling my business, and then. I hear people come in, damn, it smells like shit. Damn, stink, put some water on that shit. And it's like, yeah, we're in a bathroom. If you walked into a donut shop, it smelled like fucking donuts. But yeah, that's all I got, guys. Thank you.
Hey, I just wanted to say something. I think I speak for all the guys here. This goes out to Anke, Roshani, Harrell, artist Michael Bernard, Stevenson Jr., Brenna, and Stevenson, that we appreciate you guys' time, your inspiration, your creativity, the patience you have with us, your friendship, but most of all, we appreciate your laughter. So thanks so much. All right, we're gonna keep it going. Where's Ben at? This is the man of the hour right here.
How you guys doing? Handshakes are always awkward for me, man. I never know what to do, right? I've been in prison 21 years next week. And when I first came to prison, like, people only shook hands one way. It was just kind of like the firm shake, That's how the white dudes in there shake hands now. It's super annoying if you're a germaphobe, because they're just like, hey, brother, and everywhere you go, they're trying to shake your hand. So So I was super thankful when they came up with the dap. You know what I mean? Especially on the way to chow, because I could just, and then it went from that to just the elbow, But everybody's got a different shake. The natives got a different shake. You got the slap, slide, the dap, the East Coast. A man Fly, I don't know where he's at, but he's only got 2 ways he'll let you shake his hand. Like, you got to do the dap, and you can't fall through like that. That's just him, right? So, and then it's messed up if you're like a Mexican gang member, right? Because when they come into the chow hall in the penitentiary, they have to dap every one of their homeboys. And there's like 12 of them, and then when they sit down and they leave, they got to do it again, right? So I've never been a big fan of touch in prison. I've never been a big fan of touch in life, to be honest with you, right? And in prison there was like 3 or 4 guys, right? And every time they touched me, it creeped me out. You know what I mean? Because like most guys will just kind of pat you on the back, but these dudes will come up and they'll just put their hand on you, and they'll just leave it there. Then every now and then, they'll do this thing I call the pat drag. They'll just bring it right down here to the small of the back. They'll park it right there. And I'm just like, when are you going to remove your hand from me, right? Like they got it in the red zone, like they're going to punch it in for a touchdown or something, right? So, you guys, I didn't do too well in that skit, but anybody that's ever been to prison knows that jailhouse lawyer is real. Like you see the guy, right? Like he's got a stack of papers, right, everywhere he goes. And that shit's real. Like they had this paperwork up there in the penitentiary where they filed on being a sovereign state, and they believed it. Like they fought it for like 10 years. My cellie did it one time. I'm like, listening to what you're saying. I mean, it didn't make no sense to me at all, right? So in prison, like I remember my first day in prison, right? Like all I had was stories and movies, right? So I knew you had to look tough. Like I knew that was important, right? They didn't have my size shoes in the clothing room, so I had to get 12s. And I went out to yard. And I remember the first guy looking at me was a midget. I kid you not. He was like this tall, a real midget. And he's standing there from across the yard looking at me, smiling, giving me the head nod. And I'm thinking, okay, this is not what Bubba was described to me as, right? So I'm just staring him down. And he's smiling at me. He's got a skullet, not a mullet. He's got no hair up here and a skullet, so I think this guy's kind of weird anyway. And he just keeps giving me the head nod, and I'm thinking, all right, this guy's a midget. If I get into it with this dude and he bites me, I'm going to have to kick him so we don't get too close, right? But he comes over, he's like, you need anything? I said, I don't need shit. And here's this guy like trying to be friendly to me, right? You know what I mean? And I'm just like, what's up? But anyway, and I remember the first time I went down to the showers in the penitentiary. I'm 18 years old. I was a little older than that, but I'm a kid, right? I go down there, and there's a clothing room. You got to walk down this line, And I look, and there's 40 showers all the way back with naked men in them. And standing in front of them showers is 40 naked men waiting to get into the shower. And I'm thinking, and then I look down to my right, and there's a Folgers coffee can full of grease. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm taking a bird bath the next week, right? Like for the whole week, And I don't know what that grease is for. It's for your boots, right? You get work boots, you grease your boots when you go down there. I didn't know that, right? So anyway, these dudes get comfortable naked. Like it tripped me out. You got guys, and plus you got to look tough, right? So you're naked and you're like, I got that shower next, And then you got them dudes that are comfortable, right? Like they come down in the shower and there's another naked dude there and they're just like talking to each other like this, And I never understood how they got comfortable until I did about 10 years in prison, right? But then you got that guy over there in his underwear sitting on the bench in front of the shower, scared to death. He don't even want to make eye contact with you before he gets in there, It seems like everything about prison is designed to get your pants off. And you go to a visit, you come out here, like some of us might get strip shirts coming out here tonight. It's possible, probably not, but so you get strip shirts. Then I went to this doctor, right? His name was Dr. Degner. I went in there with athlete's foot one time. He said, all right, go ahead and take your pants off. And I'm like, for what reason? You know what I mean? I never understood it. But I'm afraid when I get out of here, right, like I'm going to go to the park with my shorts and just get undressed and get arrested thinking I'm in prison, right? But, I thought I was a pretty good criminal, but one time I was, the cops were looking for me. So I parked this RX-7 on 100-something division, right? And I'm walking, and it's like 1:30 in the morning. And I'm thinking, well, if I get pulled over and stopped right now, I'm going to go to jail. So I thought, how can I get out of this, right? I can't hide in this backyard all night. So I thought, you know what? I'll take my pants off. And down to my boxers, pull my knee-high socks up at 1:30 in the morning, just jog down the Vision. I I kid you not, true story. For some reason in my mind, I thought if it looked like I was jogging, I wouldn't go to jail. So I get pulled over. Cop's like, hey, what are you doing out here? I said, what does it look like I'm doing? I'm jogging. He goes, where do you live? I said, down on Killingsworth. I'm on Division. He's like, you ran all the way up here? By the way, when I lived on Killingsworth, it was a much different neighborhood, right? Like I guess they got shops and yuppies down there. We should be able to buy crack down there. But anyway, when I was in the penitentiary, they brought tours through there all the time. Legislators, students, you know what I mean? There was always a tour coming through there. And I remember I was in the laundry working in the maintenance, and my clothes were covered in grease. We had a steam leak, and I had this big-ass pipe wrench. And I'm sweating. And I come around the corner to get this steam leak, and I walk right into a group of legislators that are in there for a tour. I'm pouring sweat, and I got a pipe wrench, and I'm moving. It parted like the Red Sea. And I remember my friend Chico and I were like, you know what, let's do that every time there's a tour. So he would grab a cheater bar, and I would grab like a wrench or a pipe wrench, and we'd just bail around the corner just to get a laugh out of it. But and tours always embarrassed me too, right? Because, you know, if there was a good-looking lady in the crowd and they came by the yard, like these fools would be yelling and hollering. And it just, like, I get it, we're in prison, just take a glance and look away, you know what I mean? But these guys got a little carried away with it. But when I got here, I don't know if it's a smaller prison or what the deal is, but these dudes here, there's like a few of them, they go hard on the paint, right? They're like, they double team them like Colby and Shaq on game night calling for the ball, right? And I swear, we got these MP3 players. We can buy music. It's $1.75 a song, really good deal. And like, I swear there's an app. There's an app that these guys got that I don't know about on their MP, right? Like it vibrates anytime a woman walks to the front door, because these fools just appear in the hallway. Like, I don't even know where they come from, right? Like one of them used to work in here and he wore a tight-ass shirt like Gus and Ivan got on right now. And he would escort the visitors in and he'd go like this. Here's your table right here. You know what I mean? It was a trip, man. But anyways, so I got a friend that's never been to prison. That's the thing about prison that's kind of cool and kind of messed up. Since prison is now a social welfare program, it's just an option, right? They just send, used to be one kind of guy in prison, but now there's all kinds of guys. So you get to meet a lot of diverse people, right? You meet a lot of guys that really shouldn't be in prison, they're educated, you know what I mean? And not that all prisoners are uneducated, but I got educated inside. Anyway, I got a friend named Matt. He's never been to prison, and he had the means to bail out, so he bailed out, you know what I mean? And he got to wait for his trial. Most of us, if we go to prison, we're sitting in jail until we go to prison, right? So he's on the bus on his way up here. He turns himself in after he gets his sentence. And this guy on the bus goes, you knew you were coming to prison? And Matt says, yeah. And he goes, well, why didn't you pack a suitcase? He says, well, you know, I'm from Russia. I could go, but I just wanted to deal with it and get it out of the way. He's like, nah, why didn't you pack the suitcase, right? And Matt's just still kind of looking at the dude funny. He doesn't understand what he's talking about. He's like, yo, put something in the trunk. You know what I mean? Some contraband. And to his horror, somebody on the bus pulled something out of the trunk. And I'm not talking about a real trunk or a suitcase. And they rolled it up and smoked it, to his horror. Anyways, it's crazy because that's lingo you learn in prison, you know, the trunk. But if you're one of them guys that doesn't have a lot of room in your trunk, right? And you've been up for a couple days, and maybe the key something got stuck in the keyhole of the trunk. You can't get it out, you know, and you're sitting on the toilet. You can almost reach it and touch it, but you can't remove it, right? At least that's what I've heard. Anyways, so Trump, right, the other day he comes out and he says that the reason we have a problem with racism is because people keep bringing it up, right? Like that was his argument. And I thought, well, so I'm not going to say his name again tonight, right? Because I don't really like the guy. So whenever I refer to him, I want to refer to him of him whom we do not speak. I thought, well, if racism is only around because we bring it up, maybe if we just don't say that guy's name, maybe he won't be in the White House. Like, or maybe if I think the food here is good, or if I just pretend it's not there and eat it, I won't starve to death, right? But anyway, if you ignore it, it goes away. But that's all I got, guys. Have a good day.
We're gonna keep it going. We got another comic who came in. You guys give him a good hand. His name is Marcus.
Keep it going for D'Angelo, y'all. Keep it going. God damn, that handshake. His handshake got me shook, dog. You did not have to grab my fingers that hard, dog. God damn. That scared the shit out of me. I was like, wow. Also, one more time for homeboy who went right before me. Give it up time. Damn. He said he's been here 21 years. And he was talking about how he was surprised that people could be comfortable being naked in prison, and it took 10 years for him to do so. And I want to know, how long did it take you to think it was normal to buy one song at a time for $1? Dog, when you got in here, y'all was ripping the plastic off CDs, and now he's buying them one at a time. That's fucking crazy. $1.75 per song, 13 songs. I'm sorry, I didn't know that's how much y'all paying for music in here. What are y'all listening to that's worth? All right, that's not what they call it. I couldn't imagine downloading some SoundCloud rap for $1.75, and it's just like cocaine. Sandy, and that was $1.75 that I spent to listen to a 20-year-old who will be dead soon. Thanks for having me. I'm not as tough as I thought I was, man, and that's not just because I shook Anthony's hand. It came before that. I realized I'm from St. Louis. I grew up in Southside St. Louis, downtown in the now defunct Project Building. When you grew up in a situation like that, like fist fighting, other little dusty dudes, and stealing entire boxes of oatmeal cream pies from the Dollar Tree, you start to think you're a badass, right? Like rules don't apply to you, like you're an outlaw of some sort. But I realized I'm not half as tough as any of the women in my family. I learned that. I come from a lineage of incredibly strong Southern black women. My grandmother, her name is Bobby Lothridge. She's from Cleveland, Mississippi. Cleveland, Mississippi. It's as bad as it sounds. It is the second best Cleveland. And my grandmother moved from St. Louis, Missouri, from Cleveland, Mississippi up to St. Louis, Missouri, and she worked 20 years at Chrysler Motors putting together minivans with her hands to feed her family. She had one daughter, my aunt, who was shot twice in the head while pregnant during an attempted carjacking in downtown St. Louis. She lived and she had the baby, right? Yeah, you clap it up for if you want. Yeah, she earned it. She can't hear you. I'm joking, she's fine. Everything worked out. I, on the other hand, the patriarch of the family, the baby boy, the namesake, the protector, the last hope. I recently cried when I cramped up during sex, so not nearly as tough as the women in my family. It's embarrassing. It is. It's embarrassing. But I'm not embarrassed about like my potassium intake, you know. I can always drink more bananas, eat more bananas, drink more coconut water. I'm not even embarrassed because she saw me cry. It's 2018, we passed that. I'm embarrassed because she saw me stretch naked. Right? Because I had to fake a lot of cool to get her in that bedroom, but all that's out the window when you're doing front-facing lunges with your dick out. Like, it's hard to be cool and get your hamstring limp at the same time. You usually gotta pick one, and I did. It's not even the worst part. Worst part is, I don't think she knew I had those socks on until we turned the lights on. You know what I'm saying, fellas? You know what I'm saying? Gotta be sneaky out here. Gotta be sneaky in the bedroom, you know what I'm saying? 'Cause I'm a single dude dating in Portland, you know, a city full of hypocrites. And it's hard. It's hard because everybody's like, oh, we're Portland. We're so sex positive. We never kink shame, right? But then a nigga wanna wear socks when he fuck. now I'm weird. Why am I weird? I don't get it. How am I the weird one? I thought we were all open out here. What happened? What? Yes. Yeah. What? Yeah, they have individual toes. They're my fuck socks. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? That's performance wear. I got these at Dick's. I run around a pool in these socks. You see that grip? I was a fat kid growing up. I get it, I'm like a chubby adult, so it's not super like, surprised. It's like, yeah, that makes seemed like you just got taller. But I was the kind of fat kid looking back on it that I don't know how people, because that shit gets in your head, man. It gets in your head and it stays with you forever. It stays with you forever. Like, I don't know why I let people trick me, because I see old pictures of myself as a kid. I'm like, dog, you weren't fat. You weren't fat enough to be made fun of for it. Trying to separate myself from the fatter people. I'm not them, no. I'm saying. What I'm saying is, I shouldn't have let them get in my head. Because really, I was just like a chubby faced kid. I had like a big round moon pie face like my mom. It was adorable, right? And so now to this day, I have trouble with women because I have trouble seeing when I'm being hit on. I have problems noticing when someone's getting at me. You know what I'm saying? I have trouble trying to, like people have a gator, people have a gator, but I don't have a, like, she trying to fuck dar. I don't have that. I'm just missing it. I don't have it. I'm completely oblivious at all times. None so that I was out at a bar with a friend of mine. We've been friends for a couple of years. Beautiful friend of mine. Never thought about it. I never thought she'd want to get at me that way, so never even thought about it. We were out drinking, we were closing down this bar, and I'm also a poor man, very poor. So it was about 2 o'clock, and the bars are coming to, and I missed the last bus, and I was like, hey, can I sleep on your couch? I missed the last bus, and apparently she just started getting wet. She's like, hell yeah, you can sleep on my couch, broke boy. Hell yeah, you can sleep on my couch. So we closed the bar down and we walked back to our house. It was right around the corner from my house. And we get into our house and living room first. And I was like, perfect. This is my stop. Thank you for letting me sleep on your couch. Thank you. And she said, no. Come sleep in my room. And I said, that's pretty friendly. I like friends. Everybody's got friends. I started getting nervous the closer we got to her bedroom. And we walked in. And once we were in there and she closed the door, I got nervous. So I sat down on the floor. I sat down on the floor and I was just like this. She didn't tell me I could get in the bed yet. She just said come in the room. She didn't say anything about getting in the bed. Taking it step by step, I sat down. So I sat down, so she started to get weird because I got weird. And when she saw me sit down, she just went, and just started pointing at shit in that room. Was like, dude, I made this painting when I was in grad school. Then she took out Judd Apatow's terrible book of interviews and gave it to me. She's like, read that, I guess. So after 12 minutes of this, she gets frustrated and she's like, are you ready to go to bed now? I said, yeah, I'm sleepy. Let's go to bed. Do you have a blanket for me? Or are we gonna be using the same blanket? Are we gonna be sharing this blanket? Are we gonna be sharing this blanket, or do you have like a set? I can go back in the living room if you want. I can sleep on the couch. She's like, no, get in the bed. So we sitting there, we're under the same cover. I'm not touching her. We're laying like the fucking equal sign. We're laying parallel to each other. Like the last 2 popsicles in a box just standing next to her. She's like right there. And then she finally gets, her frustration hits peak level, and she grabs my hand and she puts it right here. And I panic and I went, sorry. So sorry, was that a titty? I'm so sorry. Oh, that was soft. Was that your titty? I'm so sorry. My dad thought I was gay, not because of that. Unrelated to the last story, my dad thought I was gay up until like 2 years ago. I'm not sure how much time I have left. Good? Yeah, my dad thought, okay, I'll do this story. My dad thought I was gay. Because I got caught dick looking. I was 5,
I was in kindergarten, I got caught dick looking. Y'all know what I'm talking about, dick looking. You're at a urinal, you're 5, you're trying to contextualize your own shit. And you're like, well, I got one. This dude's standing in the same bathroom as me, I wonder. And you take like a peek over. And I'm from Missouri, so I got suspended for that. They don't really play curiosity in Missouri. It's like, go home. I was also wearing all white Guess button. I was wearing all white Guess overalls. I don't know if that matters at all to the story. I'm adding it in to see if it counts. I was wearing all white Guess overalls, both straps. So my dad, I got suspended for that, and my dad was real mad because my dad, y'all don't know this, my dad is from Mississippi. He's 5'9", he's a bodybuilder, he's super yoked, he has one gold tooth. What I'm saying is, every decision he's made up until this point in his life was so he wouldn't have a gay son. Like every single thing he's done up until this point, every single step was like, what do I gotta do to not have a gay son? One gold tooth, one gold tooth, start doing incline bench. How do I make a straight boy? Incline bench, one gold tooth, I'm shaving my dreads off. So my dad was gay because of that. But it also, it got to the point where his fiance, my stepmom, thought I was gay too. She had less of a reason. Her reason was because she thought I said the word ding-a-ling too much. That was the whole reason. She overheard me making fun of a neighborhood kid. I was 8, and I was like, you look like you like ding-a-ling flavored ice cream. Not funny, I was 8, but still, I was 8. And she overheard that, and she didn't think, oh, look at this boy, he's got a way with words. We got a future comedian on our hands. No, they looked at me and they said, this nigga's gay. That was the whole, that's where it ended. It might have been that. It might have been a ding-a-ling, or it might have been that time I wore her bra for no reason. That might have been why she thought I was gay, because of the time I wore her bra. But that wasn't like a sexual thing. I wore a bra because I was a fat kid. Right? And my brothers and my sister would make fun of me for being a fat kid. My little sister called me the Jolly Ollie Man, which still hurts to this day. Like, look, it's the Jolly Ollie Man. So I put the bra on, trying to reclaim my fatness like the N-word, you know? Like, I was like, if I come down with this bra on, if I say it to myself, how they gonna say it to me, you know what I'm saying? So I came down with the bra on, had a lace bra on, and I was like, yeah, to my brothers. It's like, yeah, I do got titties, and look how good they look in this lace. It's like Dolly Parton wish she could. So they thought I was gay because of that. Or it might have been because I wore the panties too. I probably didn't need to wear the panties too. Did I have to wear the panties too? I didn't have to wear the panties too. I put the panties over my underwear, so I thought that was cool, but I still got in a lot of trouble for that. I don't know. She didn't want my prepubescent dick sliming up her good lace out. You know? I didn't plan on telling the gay part. That's all I prepared. Shout out to the homie Armon. Good to see him. And yeah, thank you for having me.
It gets better, man. Hey guys, picture this. Picture this. It's a rabbit. He's hopping through the jungle, and he comes up on this deer eating grass, and he goes, "No, Mr. Deer, stop eating grass. Hop through the jungle with me. You have more fun." So they're hopping through the jungle. They come up on a raccoon. He's sitting there on the thing, minding his business, go, "Hey, Mr. Raccoon, why don't you hop through the jungle with us? You'll have more fun." So he's like, "Okay." So they come up on the squirrel. He's grabbing nuts. And they go, "Hey, Mr. Squirrel, don't do that. Hop through the jungle with us. You'll have more fun." So he's like, "All right." So they're hopping. They finna come up on this bear. He's finna hibernate. And Mr. Rabbit goes, "Hey, Mr. And the bear just kills him. So the other animals jump back and go, "Man, why you kill Mr. Rabbit?" He said, "Because every time he misses medication, he want me to hop through the jungle with me. I'm tired of him. Good night." And We got the songs, the smarts of our group. Everybody give it up for Penguin.
All right. Hey, thanks for you guys coming out. So I came to prison, you know, they say I need rehab, you know, so I'm waiting for my window to open up. And if you're not familiar with the lingo in prison, you know, when you're waiting for your window to open up, it's the period of time that you have when you're going to go into treatment, you know. And in my experience, anytime I had to go in through a window to get into a place, you know, I wasn't supposed to be there, you know what I mean? It's like, why do I got to go through a window? Why can't I go to the front door, you know? Right? I don't really know what's going on down here in medical, but the nurse seems to be real heavy-handed with the announcements every morning. You know, it's like, attention, Lucero, medical, report to medical. I mean, it's like every 5 minutes we're reporting to medical. You know, it's like what's really going on down there? You know, it's like they got a big, you know, barrel of salt water down there, and everybody's gargling. You know, it's like, you know, broken arm. You know, salt water, everything's salt water there. So my girlfriend came to see me, and she comes up through the front door, and she says, they said, well, what's your name? And she says, I don't know. Well, do you have identification? She goes, I don't know. She goes, well, do you have ID? It's a card, you know, it's got your picture on it. You know, so she's digging through her purse, you know, she pulls out a mirror, and she looks at it. She hands it to the CO. He says, oh, if I would have known you were a correctional officer, I would just let you right in. All right, you guys. So here it is, The Platters. This is a song by The Platters, and I made a song, it's called The Great Reoffender. All right. I don't know how the levels are, so. There we go. CRCI all alone. Too real is this feeling of make-believe. Too real what I feel, that EA cut me a deal. Oh yes, I'm the great reoffender. Got me all over town.
stay tonight is cool. Well, that's awesome. But y'all know where y'all gotta go, but you're gonna have to leave here. Because, no, we appreciate you guys coming out, you know. So why don't you guys give all the comedians another hand. I don't know what to do now, so I've been taking orders for so long. Hey, nah, like my grandmother got a lot of friends that's old, and they've been married 20, 30 years and stuff, and I always sit back and be like, man, that's amazing. So I asked this one lady, I said, hey, ma'am, you've been married to this one man for that long? She said, yeah. I said, well, how'd you do it? She said, because the last 20, I ain't been able to hear him or see him. So, yeah, it's easy, babe, you'll make it. So, do we have anybody up here that want to come back and say something? Damn, this is the quietest jail ever been. I wish I should have studied some more. Hey, well, we're going to have one more song for you guys, because I know. Hey, won't you sing your one, the Fender on this bump. That'll get them going. Give it up for Penguin again, guys. Now, that's your first one. Yeah, Robot. That's the one. Y'all will love this. I'll try to come up with some stuff while you do it. Give another hand for this guy. See, it goes, comedians up here, everybody who did their thing, so y'all can give them a round of applause. I just want to say y'all did great, man. Every one of you guys. So it's a good time to take the picture.
Good job, man. Good job.
I ain't paying for it either. It better be free. Gotta be free. Hey, we want to give a shout out to Justin for that poster. That's classic, baby. Classic. All right, now we can mingle and then y'all gotta get out of here.